The American Cancer Society says half of women that are diagnosed with cervical cancer in the U.S. are not up to date with screenings.
But a new at-home test might make the screenings more accessible. NBC5's Courtney Six joins us in studio with more. Courtney.
Hi, Marion and Alex. The FDA just approved the first and only at-home cervical cancer screening test, which will be available later this year. I spoke with doctors today who say while this should not replace a doctor's visit, it will hopefully help more women get screened.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this at-home testing.
Dr. Shikha Jain is the national spokesperson for the American Cancer Society and professor at the University of Illinois Cancer Center.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of women who aren't getting tested because they're nervous about getting a pap smear or don't have access to a doctor's office or don't have the ability to get tested.
According to the American Cancer Society, they estimate this year will log more than 13,000 new cases of invasive cervical cancer, and more than 4,000 women will die from it in the U.S. And women in rural areas are 25% more likely to be diagnosed than those living in cities. But Dr. Jain is hopeful a newly approved at-home test can help shrink those numbers.
The real benefit for these types of at-home tests are for those people who can't get to the doctor, who don't have access to a doctor.
The FDA approved Teal Health's at-home test kit. It still needs to be prescribed by a physician who will then send the materials and instructions in the mail and evaluate the results in a telehealth follow-up. Although doctors urge it should not replace an in-person appointment.
There's a lot of stuff that happens at the doctor's appointment that you can't do at home. A physical exam, a breast exam. Sometimes they need to do manual palpation where they check the ovaries.
There is also a vaccine to prevent HPV, which is the sexually transmitted virus that causes cervical cancers.
It's a very preventable cancer.
And because cervical cancer screening is endorsed by a government group called the U.S. Preventative Service Task Force, it should require insurance plans to cover the cost of these at-home tests. There's an online waitlist you can join on Teal Health's website. Alex?
Hopefully that really makes a difference for a lot of women.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Courtney.